Ladies and gentlemen, absolutely excited by this one. I am joined by someone that's just come off a tour with Robert John and the Wreck, making a massive noise. New album coming out in July. It is the beautiful Laura Evans. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Absolutely great, and it's a privilege as always just to sit down with a fine artist like yourself and just to see the smile, because you've had so much going on recently, and it's safe to say that it was a very successful support slot with Robert John and the Wreck, if you can call it that, because you just had your own cliche going on and everyone was going crazy for you, and it was like just your own gig anyway. You know, am I right by saying that the response for this has just been fantastic?
Well, yeah, you never know when you get a support slot. And obviously I was super thrilled to get the support slot for them guys. And then just getting out on the first show, you know, everyone showed up early for my set, and it was just the best audiences ever. So yeah, I just had a blast. Oh,
it's great. It really is. And you've had the run-up, I guess, which is really good. And you managed to get some stuff out there for the new album, which is out 1st of July, State of Mind, debut album. Is this something completely, what just took you off guard about doing the tour before the album was dropped? Or were you comfortable with that, just to get out there, have a little play around with a few ideas, ready for the tour to drop? You know, and then after the tour drops, you're like, right, I know what's going on and people know me now. You know, is that the kind of plan?
Well, it wasn't actually, because this tour came in last minute. So this wasn't something I'd known about like for 6 months. So I had my singles ready to go and my album date launch ready. And then the support slot came in kind of last minute. And I just thought, oh, great. So I got to sing all these songs from the album, kind of like stripped back acoustically. And then everyone got to hear them in a way, in a much more simpler form than what they will do when the album is out. So it wasn't really planned, but I'm really glad it is, because I've kind of gained a whole bunch of new fans now after this tour.
I was just going to say, being on the tour with the sensational California band Robert John and the Wreck, you've stepped out there and you did a little bit of stripped down performances, and people's reviews and comments seem to be absolutely mind-blowing. 10 out of 10 performances. Your voice, how that has just blown people away, because they haven't heard that kind of voice in a long time. And are you somebody that reads your critics, or are you just somebody that goes out there and just gets on with it and delivers what you've got?
Well, I can only really do that. I've only got one thing to give, and that's my voice. Do you know what I mean? I've been doing this for so long, and I've never really changed my style. I've always kind of gone out there and sung, and I believe in my voice, if you know what I mean. So I always know when I step out, people will look and think, oh, she's cute, or I bet, you know, I wonder what she sounds like. So I kind of get a bit of a kick out of just singing and showing everyone my voice, and people either like it or they don't, but it turns out that they really did. So yeah, I mean, obviously I read all the great reviews and everything was great. There was nothing negative. I tend to steer away from reading negative things. Mm-hmm. But everything was super positive. So yeah, no, it was great.
It's great. And you've just not too long ago dropped the single Fire with Fire. And I've listened to that. And I've listened to obviously quite a few of the songs on the album, because I've been privileged enough to do that. And I've sat back and kind of listened and thought where you're coming from with the album. Is this a personal journey for you about breakup, love, hardship, all this kind of stuff? You've got a few songs on there what I can connect to. What's along them lines? Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I always write pretty much from personal experience. I very rarely write something that I can't relate to. And if I do write something about someone else, it's like someone else's story. Okay. So I kind of make sure that every song tells a story, really. So that's just kind of my style of writing. I wouldn't really write. I guess it's not a typical blues album, because there's quite a lot of melodies and it's very lyrical and storytelling. But that's just my way of writing, I guess, as an artist.
Yeah, it's definitely got, like you say, it's a blues. It's been said that you are a blues artist. I kind of sense, you know, you can pull me up on this. I kind of sense that you've got a bit of country in there, a bit of rock and roll, and then you've got the blues. And I guess you can get away with that as being a blues artist, because what is the blues? It's the every emotion that touches the soul, I guess. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's funny. I don't really want to be boxed in a genre, but I also don't want to be left out. So I almost think I want to kind of appeal to all the genres, and then people can decide. So that was what was really refreshing about doing the tour. People didn't know what to expect, or if they'd already put me in a box, they got to see me live and then decide, actually, you know, we dig all of it.
It's nice that you're not just put in one box, because, you know, when people come and see you, this thing's what I've read. They was totally surprised by your performance and how you was. That I think they was expecting really heavy stuff. You know, a lot of the blues stuff right now is heavy. You're light, and you've got a mixture of everything. But then you've got some guy called Chris Barris who is quite heavy blues right now, who produces some of your videos. How did that, how did that happen? Where did you cross lines with that?
Well, my producer is Josiah J. Manning, and he's in the Chris Barris band. Mm-hmm. So he produces all my stuff. So I guess he gives it more of a rockier edge. And then obviously I needed to get some videos made. And he was like, you should get Chris to do them, because Chris is an amazing videographer, as well as an artist. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we connected via that way, really. And we always sit down and brainstorm. You know, I say, I want it to come across like this. This is my idea. So I think when you compare two styles, it kind of, I guess it changes the overall kind of sound and look. So it definitely gives me a little bit of an edge. Mm-hmm.
You definitely got the edge. And without sounding too cliche, you've got the looks of a great female front lady. You know, you've got what you've got. You've got the package, you've got the looks, you've got the sound. Are you somebody what feels the pressure of, because you've got the whole look, to stand up to that performance? Because you look at the female singers, what have been past and present. You know, you've got the Heart. You know, you Cher, if you want to go back to them. All these Stevie Nicks. You know, you see the girls what are really digging it, and they always get a lot of crap. You know, and it's always, a chick can't sing this, can't sing that. Are you somebody that just thinks, you know what, F this, that goes to the side, I am who I am, and I don't care about the cliche crap?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I am always amazed how few female artists there are compared to male artists. So it's funny, I didn't ever think about it before. I'm just a singer-songwriter, I'm doing my thing, I'm staying in my lane, I've got like my blinkers on. But of late, I've been looking around going, God, there's not much female representation. You know what I mean? You got Beth Hart, who's killing it. But well, I don't know. I think it's just important to celebrate more female artists. And what if we do cross over into a bit of blues? You know, we're still classed as rock. I mean, Fleetwood Mac was still classed as a rock artist. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm finding it hard to break into certain avenues. Maybe that's because I'm a woman. I don't know. Maybe if I was a guy, it'd be different. But I try not to let that stop me. But I think, everyone knows that there's more male artists being represented in many genres. So I guess you just have to kind of fight your way through.
Yeah, it's great without being too political about the music industry, and it's great that there's a female what's out there doing so much right now. Like you say, Beth Hart, there's Joanna Shaw Taylor, there's yourself, Joanna Connor. Yeah. You're all fighting the fight and doing great work, and you're winning over the fans. What is the future for you then in the next, is 2022 onwards? Is the tours, is the collaborations going on, or is it just solely plug this album, get out and do it?
Well, the album will be out 1st of July, and there'll be a lot more live shows. So I'm doing an album launch show, and I'm doing a couple of festivals. And I just had some exciting news today, which is another tour, which will be announced tomorrow. So that'll be happening later in the year. And then that kind of concludes my year, which has been pretty awesome. Hoping to do my own headline tour early next year. And then I guess I'll have to put out some new music.
Wow.
Because then it will be over.
Yeah. I'm going to say, are you somebody what starts working straight away once you've recorded this album like you have and you release it in July? Are you already penning the album then already, or are you just somebody what's focused on, let's finish this album and do all the stuff what needs doing for the tours, and then we sit down and pen? Or are you somebody what just goes straight in there straight away?
I'm writing all the time, actually. Yeah. So I'm constantly writing. But I will at some point sit down and look at everything and be like, okay, what do I want the next album to sound like? And maybe pick some stuff. And once I start deciding what I want it to sound like, then I'll probably write more in that vein. So there's a lot of like cherry picking because I write a lot of songs and they're not all, they don't all make the cut sometimes. So it's important that they all have to be really good.
Great stuff. Are you? Well, I've got to ask. You've got your full band, you've got your acoustic stuff. Are you somebody what doesn't mind playing the songs out acoustic? Are you somebody what sets out playing first with just acoustic, or do you do your songs and jam it with as a band first? Say, I've got this song. This is how I do it. What's the songwriting process?
I always just do it totally stripped down when I'm starting writing the song. So I kind of play guitar a little bit, I play keys a little bit, and I have loads of melodies in my head. So I usually sit with my guitarist or another co-writer, and we'll write. And as long as it sounds good on acoustic guitar, usually that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Like if it doesn't sound good in the room, just acoustic guitar, it's not a good enough song, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll get in the studio with Josiah and we'll build up the track and decide what we want to sound like. And sometimes we'll rewrite stuff because it might not be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
But usually I'm always just writing just acoustic guitar. Yeah. Sometimes I just write on my own a cappella, record it into my phone. So yeah, it's important for me that the melody is good, with not much production.
No, it's great. I love it. I like hearing how the songs come together. I think that's the whole thing where you start with and how it's in there. You put it in a recipe, you mix it up, and you come out with the end product. I like to know what that process is. It's brilliant, and I'm so supportive about your music. I really am excited. I was a bit gutted I didn't get to see you on the first leg of the tour with the Robert John guys, but I can't wait to get out there and see you again. Again, ladies and gentlemen, 1st of July, State of Mind is out. It's just going to be something that's going to blow your mind, ladies and gentlemen, and it is the fabulous Laura Evans. It's great talking to you.
Oh, thank you for having me, Dino.